All right. Hey, welcome y'all to the channel. Um, got a good one today. We're doing back. I really did it. I did back and chest today, but my focus was primarily for back. So starting off here, we're doing some straight up rows. So these are pretty unusual. Now I found that these work really good for me to help build the middle of my back, help build thickness in the middle of my back, like right around the center line where the spine is, but also in the middle, like vertically. So like basically, like if you drew a line from the front of my chest to my back, that is the target. That's the spot right there that I'm targeting with that particular movement, and it's actually really effective. So, of course, everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's physiology is just a little bit different. So, if you try to do a movement like that, you may not be able to get the same activation as I do, but I also do have a really good mind muscle connection. So I'm able to really target the muscle and really pinpoint that particular muscle whenever I'm working it. So I don't really struggle with figuring out which muscles are being worked. So anytime I'm doing a movement, I know exactly what muscles being worked at any given time. So right here, I had a really good pump this workout. Of course, the pre-workout I take is the Abe or Abe All Black everything. Really good pre-workout. I don't think I'm gonna switch to anything else. But just amazing pumps. So here's another set. This one I'm doing with 50, so I'm going a little heavier. I can go quite a bit heavy with these. Of course, you got to limit your reps when you're going heavier, but as you can see, it looks really awkward. It looks really strange because it looks like I'm just like using my arms, but actually I am using my back. Like I'm feeling that really big in the middle of my back, right down the center line of the spine, toward the middle of the back. I mean, I feel it big time. And you can see right here, I got a pretty good pump right there in the middle of my back. And you know, I have a pretty good V taper. Of course, I always want my bike to be wider, but one of the things that I've really been focusing on lately is getting the thickness of my back in. So I'm trying to build that thickness in the middle, right there in the middle where you see the shirt kind of splits it. That's where I want more size, and I've been working on getting it. So I've been doing pretty good. I can't say that I'm displeased with how things have been so far. Here we're moving to the 65, so this one is quite a bit heavier. Probably could have knocked out a couple more reps, but I feel like I did pretty good. All right, so this one, see, this is where I was mentioning that recording yourself is an advantage, because right here, seeing this right here makes me realize I could have moved back just a little bit more, used my arm and bent over a little bit more and stretched out that shoulder a little bit more. See, I'm not getting a really good stretch there at the bottom. I'm getting a good contraction. I could feel it, but I could get a better stretch. And so what I need to do is I need to focus on letting that arm drop a little bit more, letting that shoulder come out just a little bit more, and I could get that really good stretch. And that's the advantage of doing the single arm. Is doing the single arm, you can let that arm stretch out a little bit, and it's going to really allow you to get more of those muscle fibers. So you see me doing it here on both sides, and like you can tell, you see that left lat right there. I mean, I have a really good pump in this workout, so I felt really good today. Felt really strong, and I was doing some good work today on this. So doing those single arms are really advantageous for getting that stretch. You can do stretch more too if you have good flexibility in your back. You can get good stretch on like on barbells as well. All right, so moving on to this one, what we're doing here is I'm doing the pull downs, or the lat pull down type of, but we're doing the uh, the close grip. So I had already done the wide grip and I didn't actually video it, but this is the close grip. So what you're doing is you're focusing on driving those elbows. Like, think about driving the elbows back and down, or down and back, right? So you're focusing on bringing the elbows down and back, and then you're almost wanting to bring your chest, like you're trying to explode your chest through the bar. And doing that, you're going to get a lot of activation in your lats, especially in the lower lat area. And this is a great workout for getting that lower lat pump. And I really enjoy it. I mean, I do it. I do this one right here pretty often with the close grip, and I really like it. As you can tell, I'm doing relatively lightweight. It's not super heavy. It's something I can manage with a good amount of reps. And as you could tell, I get a pretty good workout off of that one right there too. All right, so this one is different. Okay, so you'll notice that it's almost the same as when I was doing the one for the back, but you'll notice the difference is that I'm hinging on my arm is hinging at the shoulder. So instead of using my back to work, what I'm doing is I'm using my rear delt. You'll see that muscle right there at the top of my shoulder toward the back. That's what I'm activating right there. That's what I'm working, is the rear delt. So this is more of like the arm is more like a pendulum, just swinging back and forth. And what I'm doing is when it's coming back, I'm activating that muscle, that rear delt. When I activate that rear delt, you can see it up at the top. And I've not to brag too much, but I feel like I've developed some pretty good rear delts over the last year or so. And it's because I've been doing stuff like this. So this right here is a huge thing that I've started doing that's really, really effective. And like I said, everybody's physiology is a little different. So some people, they'll use the machine. Some people like to do face pulls. So I had done face pulls as well. But honestly, doing this right here, this movement alone has brought me a ton of gains in my rear delt area. So as you can tell, my rear delts are pretty good. I mean, I always think they should be bigger, but considering everything on my body, they seem pretty well proportioned for everything else in my body. A lot of people, man, they struggle with their rear delts, and then a lot of people do. Let's say they do a competition or a show, and then they don't have no rear delt, and then they go and inject, synthol or something into the muscle to make it look bigger. So to me, it's better just to work the muscle and build that thing. If you struggle with a certain part, with a certain body part, just keep working on it, build it. And you'll get it there. You'll get it. It'll take some time, but you'll get it where it needs to be. Okay, so you can see right there, pretty good development right there in that rear delt. So I can't say I'm disappointed right now in my back the way it's coming. I feel like it's coming along really well, and so I'm pretty happy with that. I still got a lot of work to do, and I feel like if I lose more fat, I'll get a little more definition. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, you're not even fat. You're not even close to being fat. Well, I do have some, fat tissue, especially in my back, toward my lower back, a little bit of love handles and things like that. So definitely need to work on getting rid of that stuff. But I mean, overall, I'm generally pretty lean, I would say. And I feel pretty good right now working out. So I feel like things are coming along really good with my physique. So just keep it coming. Get a little pose right there. Check out what I got, what I'm working with. And that's another thing too, is make sure you guys are looking at what you're working with. Okay, I know I follow Frank Zane, and Frank Zane's always big on taking photographs, documenting what you're doing. That way you can keep an eye on your status and where you're at. Okay. Now this is the pull down, the front pull down, the straight bar pull down that I really, really enjoy doing. And I especially enjoy doing it at the end of the workout because it puts a ton of tension. Even if you're not doing heavy weight, it puts a ton of tension on that back. It puts a ton of tension on the middle back and on the top of your back. And as you can tell, even my lats are under a ton of tension too. So it really helps to build almost this is good for pretty much the entire back. The middle, the top, the sides, and even the bottom, I would say, even the rear, the lower back too, because you're leaning over like that. You do need your back to be relatively strong to be able to deal with the weights coming down and holding it and keeping it nice and tight. So that is something that I definitely think you should add to your inventory of working out. If you're doing back, I think you should do a movement similar to this. Another movement is I did 90 on that one. Another movement is similar to this is the pullover. So do a dumbbell pullover or a barbell pullover or something like that. So I'm going to 60 here, and then when you do that, it's very similar to this movement, but of course this movement to me is superior. I think this is a superior movement, and you'll notice when I'm doing it is I'm kind of rounding my back a little bit. A lot of people will be, oh, don't round your back, don't round. No, I feel like rounding your back, especially if you're able to do so, is actually a very good thing. Strict form a lot of times will limit your strength. It'll limit your ability to deal with troublesome situations. So if you're always strict in your form and you never round your back at all, then guess what? Your back is probably not going to be that strong. So sometimes it's good to get that little bit around in a controlled fashion, of course, and it helps you build up some of your strength in your lower back. So since I started rounding more, I've noticed that back pain has gone away, lower back pain has gone away. Definitely feel better. Now there are times, of course, where you definitely want to maintain a really good, solid, form on your lower back. You're doing squats, things like that. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be, rounding too much, because then you can really hurt your back. So just keep an eye on the amount of weight that you're doing and what you're doing, what particular exercise you're doing, and then don't be such a form Nazi. Do things that work. If it works, then do it. Don't sit there and listen to the YouTube guys, these these dudes out here, these bros out here that are like, hey, you got to do this way, you got to do that way. If you're not doing it this way, it's scientifically proven that you're not going to get gains and all. No, don't even listen to none of that. Okay, you do what works for you. If you find something that works for you, then do it. Like I remember those guys talking about all the time about like, oh, these bodybuilders aren't going full range of motion on their bench press. They're only going down halfway and coming up halfway. Well, come to find out, partial reps on the lengthened partial reps is actually really good. So they were doing it right all along for them. And guess what? Their bodies proved it. Their bodies showed the improvement. And I'm doing 40 on this one. So the bodies showed the improvement. And guess what? The proof is in the pudding, So I know I'm not the biggest dude. I'm not the strongest dude. I'm not the most jacked dude. But if I tell you that something works and I show it to you that it works, then hey, look, man, you can see it. You can see, hey, man, this actually works. So definitely, I would definitely implement this movement. This movement for sure is a movement that I feel like you should definitely implement in your workout. And as you can tell right here, I'm going lighter. I started off heavier and I'm going lighter because this is the end of the workout. So I'm really just trying to really pump out these last few reps. Notice my back is rounding. I'm able to round it because I'm doing a really, really light weight here. So I'm able to really round it. And that allows me to put more tension on the back, allows me to put more tension on the middle back and the upper back and the lower back. So this, and even on the lats, on the side. So this right here is an amazing movement. I definitely think you should try it. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. And remember, guys, if it works, then do it. Okay? Y'all have a good one. Take care.